Hey, Philadelphia, guess what? We're 1 week away from starting our higher self-development course on August 7th. And real quick, what I wanted to do is to actually take the time out to differentiate something. Within the last course, every week I had to teach the difference between personal development and self-development. Those are two different elements, totally two different elements. But if you're not placed in a circumstance where you can understand those, the difference between them, you'll think that they're the same. They're not. All right. The other thing that I want to really highlight is after the course itself, right, I had to rename it. When we did the pilot program, I had to rename it because I had to differentiate it from self-development and list it as higher self-development. So first, I had to differentiate it from personal development, and now I have to differentiate it from self-development. So here's the difference, right? Because when I talk to people, people give me their definition of what they think that I'm talking about. And if you come to the course, it's totally different from what you have your understanding of, right? So real quick, let's take something that's really prominent in the community. Let's take, for instance, say poverty, right? Poverty is typically looked at as someone who lacks certain things, right? All right, they don't have this, they don't have that. But in general, right, we go around and say that this person is in poverty because they don't have that. And when we look at it now, we can say, hey, we can give this person this and we can give this person that, and they won't be in poverty anymore. While that is true, right, there's a deep understanding of what causes poverty, which has nothing to do with material things that are given to people, all right? Let's take this circumstance, right? It's a psychological effect that was done to people. And the psychological effect that was done started with this. You told someone that they're poor. If you tell someone that they're poor, right? Then guess what they start to develop? They start to develop that idea that they're lacking, all right? So one is to what? Tell. So if someone hears that they're poor, then they go into that state of starting to become lack. All right? Next, what you have to do, you take that person, right? And then you put that person into an environment where they actually affirm what they heard. So now they could actually see it. So if they're seeing someone who is wealthy, right, having all these things, then guess what they're going to confirm to themselves? That they're what? Poor. The only thing that was done to them is the psychological method of letting you hear something and then letting you see something, and then that actually make you become that of which you heard or you saw. So in essence, if we're trying to solve this problem of poverty, it's not about giving people things. It's about letting them start to hear what they're capable of and let them see it. That's the psychological trick that was done to us, right? In the Bible, it says faith comes by hearing, hearing of the word, right? Let's stop right there. We're not going into the biblical context, but this is something that's applicable now. The life that you live is based on the things that you will hear and hear over and over. And this is the process of what is called learning. Learning is repetitive. So you repeat something and someone will learn it, which is why you can actually hear a song 5-10 times and then before you know it, you start singing the song because it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with you hearing it, which is a part of your sense. So that is one aspect of it, right? Then when I place you into an environment and then now you're able to see what I told you, right? Then this now becomes a reality of your life. So poverty is not a lack. Poverty is what you heard and then what was confirmed based on what you saw. So why am I saying this? Because one, if we need to get out of poverty, then we need to start to affirm ourselves coming out of that state, right? Which has nothing to do with, oh, I don't have this. You have a voice, right? And you have vision. You can say things and you can see things, right? Which is, let's go to this. It's called affirmation. When people are doing affirmation and they're saying, I am this, I am that, right? You know what they're doing? All they're doing is affirming their sense to hear it and their visual sight to see it, which is why vision board and stuff like that works, because it's your senses you're dealing with. So poverty isn't a part of what you lack. Poverty is what was psychologically done to us, right? By telling us that we don't have, and then place us in a circumstance where we affirm what we heard through a visual context. So if we need to get out of poverty, right, all you got to do is, as the Bible would say, speak things as though they are. Listen, speak things as though they are. The concept behind that, when you hear it, and hear it, right? When you hear that, I am abundance, I am abundant. If you hear that every day, then guess what you will become, right? You will start to become abundance. And if you see things that are visual, that represent abundance, then this is what you will start to become. Go to the ghetto and look at the lifestyle. They hear the things, right, that are negative, and they see the things that are negative, so that actually puts them into a poverty state of mind. A poverty state of mind, not a lack, a poverty state of mind, right? So how did I become aware of this? This is the concept of what I talk about when I say higher self-development. You have to develop yourself on a higher level, right, for you to understand these things, right? It has nothing to do with self-development. Self-development is what I would equate to character. You can develop your character all you want, and there are certain things that won't be revealed to you. But I guarantee you this, once you start to develop your higher self, then things like this become normal to your everyday life, right? So if I did this in just one video, in bringing your awareness to what poverty really is and how you could actually get out of poverty, right? You can speak and see your way out of poverty. It's not about you not having this, because there were people way back when, and even now, that comes out of poverty on a day-to-day basis. They don't have this. No. What they did, they affirm their life, right? Which takes training. You got to train your brain. You got to train your heart, right, to see and understand these things. It's not just one day just say, hey, I'm abundance and that's it. No. You got to train your brain, right, to have this understanding that it has abundance. And when it starts to reflect that it has abundance, then it will produce abundance. If you hear that you have lack, right, and you see it, then the brain starts to produce that of what you heard. It has nothing to do with what you don't have. It has everything, I mean everything, to do with what you hear and what you see. So one video I'm able to share that with you. The course, it's 7 weeks, right? I get to share things with you and open up your understanding to a higher level. And when you open up your understanding to a higher level, then you can operate on a higher level. This is called I Am Bigger, Higher Self-Development course. Not self-development and not personal development. So classes start August 7th. I hope I'll see you there. If you didn't register yet, I'll provide the links at the bottom of this video. But come on out. I have 7 weeks. 7 weeks that I could share something with you that could make a significant difference for the rest of your life. And if you didn't know that, not know that, but if you didn't know this, Some of the people who are in poverty today is in poverty because of their past generations of ancestors. That's how deep poverty is. So in essence, what we teach in the course, right, it's not just about you. It's about how the future generation could become higher with who they are. So, as I said, August 7th, register, and I'll see you there. God bless.